What's going on, everybody? This is the comment section. This is number, what is this? Number 29. Wow, and the first one of 2024. That's amazing. Not really, but okay, cool, awesome. And I have, it only takes like one or two videos for me to all of a sudden have a ton of a ton of comments to do. But if those don't happen, then there's like a lull, in terms of these videos. It's not like a problem. I don't care. It's nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, oh, you should keep doing those videos. I like those videos. It's like I don't have comments that I don't have anything to talk about, any of that kind of thing. So I'm saying that to say some of these are older, like a little bit older, because when they come in, I screenshot them, I get them, and then I just let them sit until I have a little bit of a build up. Right. Well, I've got quite a build up right now. I've got probably a couple of comment section videos that I gotta do, and this is the first one, number 29. So here, starting it off, we got Tommy Devlin 702, Kate Bush, Breathing. That's how far back we're going, right? Never Forever. It's not really that far back, but you know what I'm saying. It's like I'm off of Kate Bush right now. We're in the middle of Queen. We were doing Queen at that time also, but anyways, we're doing some other things right now. So Tommy Devlin, what's going on? How you doing? Hi Justin, thanks again. I'm glad you enjoyed Breathing and the entire album. Yes, I also prefer it to the Dreaming, though I do love the Dreaming very much. In relation to lyrics versus music, oh yes, everybody on this channel loves this conversation. Sorry. Okay. In relation to the lyrics versus music, etc., I guess I am on the side of the debate that wants to take account of the entirety of the song or piece, etc. After all, strip the lyrics away from Bob Dylan and you end up with a guy and a guitar and not one of the great singing voices. And honestly, that's all I hear. That's all I hear. That's why I'm not really into him. Among the reasons. That, and also I've never super digged into his records, like super, maybe one or two of his records, but like for the most part, I just kind of haven't, there's so much music out there. I will never listen to it all, and if I don't like your voice and I'm not into how you're doing things, I'm not gonna spend time doing that, right? So anyway, sorry, but include the lyrics and he is transformed into one of the greatest and most influential songwriters of the last 100 years. Sure. I want to say debatable, but I may be over outvoted on that. And that's fine, but it's not for me also, and I don't care. There are those people that are like, 85 million, however many fans he has, like 100 million people can't be wrong. It's like, no, they can be. Millions and millions of people are wrong at voting. We're voting this year, right? Millions of people will be wrong, right? So yes, people can be wrong. That number of people can be wrong. I know that that's just one example, and sorry to bring up like a political thing in that kind of way, but you know what I'm saying. You get my point. Just because, and also I'm not the kind of person that, if you don't know this by now, I'm not the kind of person that just because the crowd likes it doesn't mean I'm gonna do that. I don't give a fucking shit what the crowd likes. If I don't like it, that's all that matters to me. This is my world, right? I'm the one that has to live in it. So that's me. Anyways, and I know that there are people that follow the channel that are into me for that reason. So I can't do anything else. This is literally just me. So anyways, strip Shakespeare of iambic pentameter. Sorry, I don't really know Shakespeare. I left Shakespeare in school. I don't remember. Is that supposed to say iambic pentameter? Or is it supposed to say lambic? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Iambic pentameter, and you still have excellent plays, but one of the things that make it great is lost. But we all have our own way of going ever so slightly mad. You mentioned that next chronological Kate Bush album, Hounds of Love. It certainly is her most critically acclaimed album, and the album that other recording artists, musicians, and songwriters refer to most often. I actually prefer Never Forever and The Sensual World to it. I think, have I done a track off of The Sensual World? Maybe. Its reputation is very well deserved, and it is a must listen within the Kate Bush catalog. It does, however, pose problems for anyone doing reaction videos to it, because the second side, The Ninth Wave, is a single concept piece of 7 songs all telling the same story of a woman lost at sea. The best way to listen to it is in one listen as the story moves forward and backwards as her character passes between consciousness and unconsciousness and experiences hallucinations, nightmares, etc. before she is eventually rescued. But that can present issues for someone doing reaction videos to the album. Glad you enjoyed Never Forever. Cool. Yeah, I'm not there yet in terms of Hounds of Love. I know that is, I get the importance of it, right, in terms of her catalog. But yeah, I'm not there yet. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's happening on the channel, what's going to happen on the channel, where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, all that kind of thing. I have to still like it. I have to still want to do it, all those kinds of things. There's a lot. And I know it's very me-centered because it's my channel. Right? So we'll see. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you. And I get that comment was definitely, if I get to that album and when I get to it and all that kind of thing, I'll have to remember that I need to I need to plan out how to do it first, right? That's basically what you're saying. You know, hey, maybe do it this way. Okay, cool. All right, next we have, this comment is from Dan Archuleta 1154. What's going on, buddy? And this is from my, I think this was from my 2023 recap. And I just like this comment, so I saved it mostly for me to read back. But also, you know, since I'm here, I'm going to read it. I'm going to do it right here. Hey, Jay, 1, what is your goal? Is the primary goal to explore the musical menagerie with a predetermined approach to critiques? Then numbers might be secondary. It's primary goal to explore the music with a predetermined approach to critiques. And the numbers might be right. If your goal is numbers, listen to your audience and see what works with other commenters. Yeah, it's not just listen to the audience. This is the interesting thing. It's not just listen to the audience, because if you notice, and other people have mentioned it, I don't know if you mentioned it here, but other people have mentioned it. Lots of times the, you know, listening to the audience would also include like donation requests and stuff like that. Lots of those are not super popular. Like lots of them. If you go back, lots of them are not super popular. If it were really about the numbers, what I would do is I would go around to all the different reactors. I would go through their videos. I would go by most popular, and then I would do those most popular songs. You know, that's a way of doing it. I have done that in the past, but I haven't done that in a while. Haven't really done that in a while. So there's that, because those, you know, that is a way of doing it. Those will work. Anyways, so okay, cool. With certain artists, lyrics are central or essential to appreciating the music. The Kate Bush crew seem to think so. Music can still be primary, but grow and expand your repertoire of skills. How dare you tell me to try and improve what I'm doing? You this is a tough sell for me. I get what you're saying. I do. Yeah. It's just, yeah, on first listen, I'm just not going to get into the lyric. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm interested in. I get what you're saying though. It's like, okay, so then what you're saying is the primary goal to explore the musical menagerie with a predetermined approach to critiques. Numbers might be secondary. You know, it's like, if I'm not willing to cater and part of that is lyrics, depending on the music. And this is where also, like, because I don't know the music, it's first time, I don't know that the lyrics are the important part. You know, I mean, I can tell more now, like, okay, after hearing it, being like, okay, this sounds more like this is like a lyrics kind of thing. And I don't do that. I'm not going to get into that. So anyways, I hear what you're saying. I get it. Number 2, communication. Ask yourself the question, does this line of discussion invite participation? Totally, yeah, understand that. Try and steering, you know, the discussion, right? If not, avoid that line of discussion. I wouldn't argue. I enjoy the comments, and there are so many fun and enriching comments. Why perseverate? Perseverate. Wow, I don't know if I've ever heard perseverate. I don't know if I've ever heard that word on the negative. I mean, context clues tells me, you know, what it means, but Yeah, I know. Sometimes I get sucked into that. Sometimes I get sucked into that. It depends. Sometimes it's also a line of discussion, especially in these videos, and that becomes a thing, right? Which, is fine by me. Some things I just want to talk and want to address, want to talk about all of that, and other things, other times, there was a comment that I deleted recently. It was probably like 1 or 2 weeks ago. That was, it was like somebody attacking me or something like, something like that. And lots of times I just get rid of them. I get rid of them, especially if they're nasty or any of that kind of thing where I don't want it on the channel. It's just not appropriate for whatever reason, because I get those. Not all the time, but, they come in, whatever, one a week, one every 2 weeks, whatever it is, and I got rid of it, and then I was like, oh man, I wish I would have saved it and then read it on comment section so people knew some of the things that I get dealt with. But it's whatever. Maybe if I remember next time, that'll happen. But sometimes, it's not to focus on the negative, but just as like, these comment section videos are conversational, right? I mean, at least to me, it's just me talking on a camera, responding to comments, and people, I mean, I see that people do like these videos. I like making them. I think it's cool. Obviously I can yap at the camera. That's fine. It's totally fine. So anyways, yeah, sometimes I get into the negative. I don't want to. I try not to. It depends. I feel like I have gotten better at it, cuz like when it first starts happening, you start feeling attacked and things like that, and it's whatever. Anyways, it depends on how strongly I feel about what's being said and what exactly is. It's situational. Anyways, finally, look at what has worked. You hit the nail on the head with Rush. Diehard fans look for every opportunity to participate in anything related to their beloved bands. Bands like Van Halen, Steely Dan, AC/DC, and others have rabid fans who will follow you through extensive explorations through their catalogs, interviews, etc. Your musical acumen is clear. This is your foundation. Now build walls, ceilings, and doors, and the possibilities are endless. Way too long, but I'm probably your dad's age, and this is what we do. LOL. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I saved it. I was like, okay, this is one of those posts. I need to save this and reread this. Go back to it. Anyways, thank you. Thank you. Okay, up next. J Omega T. What's going on, buddy? I don't know what this is for. This is maybe, this is for probably White Man, maybe? Queen, White Man, maybe? Some songs have a stereotypical Native American music sound that was kind of caricaturized, right, in Western-themed TV shows and movies, I guess, back in the 50s and 60s. With the theme of this one, I'm sure they did that on purpose, but I hear it in the Prophet song too. My question is, what is it about a melody that slots it into that category or any other category like the East Asian riff in A Passage to Bangkok, or is it the intervals or the mode or the chord progression or something else? And I said yes to all. Because it is that. It's all of that. Because you could think of it as just the scale. I think that that's probably the most basic way of putting it. It's the scale. Whatever the scale that they're using is going to have that sound. Do I have a book? Do I have a book that'll have something like that? Hang on a second. I don't know if I have it anymore. I think that there was some point where I whittled down what books I had, like music books, bass books, stuff like that. Because I just have so much of those books and stuff like that I just kind of cart around from house to house, from all that kind of thing. I think at some point, maybe when I moved from California to Florida, I probably just took some, I like kept the important ones and then got rid of other ones. But I think I had a book that had some different things in it that was pertaining to this. But anyways, yes, scales, right? It's going to start with the scales, but what are, when you get into scales, then you can break that out into intervals and you can break it up into chords and things like that. So it's all related and connected. That's why I said yes to all. But maybe at its most basic form, I would start with the scale. So something like Phrygian is pretty basic. And then there's like even offshoots of that. I was thinking like a Phrygian dominant, things like that, where you have things like flat twos, flat sixes, flat sevens, major threes, like in the same scale. And it's going to have this sound. Just when you play the scale, everybody would recognize. Everybody. I don't have an acoustic instrument to play it on. I don't have an acoustic instrument to play it on. Let's see. Wow, let's see if I could do this. I have this thing. I frankly like almost never use it, but it was really cheap, and they're pretty cool. Let's see if I can figure this out. I'm not a piano player. I only say that I'm a bass player because that's all I've ever worked on. I mean, I've played other instruments, but let's see. Let's see if I could do this. So what is this? This is a melodica, right? Does John Batiste use one of these things? There's lots of different people that have used these things in the past. They're kind of a weird, interesting, quirky instrument that you have to blow into this thing. And then it'll play, right? So just that part, right? Just that part right there gives you that sound. This right here, C, D flat, that's Phrygian, right? I think of Phrygian immediately, but then you have major 3. That's an interval, right? This is why it's all connected, right? Because you have the scale, but then you have the notes. If you just take 2 of the notes and the distance between the notes is the interval, that makes a big difference, right? What the interval is going to matter. If this were just a minor scale or Phrygian, it would be. That major 3 makes a big difference. It gives it that East Asian, that passage, it gives it that sound. So again, wow, look at that. Expanding what I'm doing in the videos. Wow, incredible. That's the thing about it. It starts with the scale. That's what I would say. Yes to all. Okay, anyways, I have a ton. This video is getting long. And I've only done, 3 comments? I can yap, huh? Apparently. Okay, so there's going to be another one of these videos. And I'll catch you in it later.